Hey everybody, Dr. Phil here. So this is going to be a video on creating and maintaining high performance organizations. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. So let's first talk about what we call high performance work systems. So high performance work systems are going to make full use of resources and opportunities to achieve the organization's goals. So each element of the system must fit well with others in a smoothly functioning whole, right? And so some of this maybe speaks to the idea of synergy, right? Sort of the whole is sort of greater than the sum of its parts, if you will. And it should result in increases in productivity and long-term financial success. Now, in a high-performance work system, all the elements, so that would be the employees, the people, the technology, the organizational structure, will all work together. They're all sort of molded together to create and promote organizational success. So what are the elements of a high-performance work system? So it could be argued that there are other elements too, but these are certainly the five core elements. So number one is the organizational structure, and that's the way the organization groups people into divisions, departments, and reporting relationships. Number two is task design, how details of organization's activities will be grouped, whether into jobs or indeed team responsibilities. Number three is the people. And of course, the people should be well suited to and prepared for jobs. Number four is reward systems that should hopefully encourage people to strive for goals. And some of that kind of doesn't really mention it here, but you kind of want to make sure that you align the goals of the people, the employees, with the goals of the firm, right? And think about like why a lot of companies award their executive stock options. And number five, information systems enable sharing information widely. So what are some of the outcomes of a high performance work system? Well, obviously high productivity and efficiency is certainly one. Hopefully higher profits because, for any for-profit business, then that's the ultimate goal. High product quality is certainly one. Great customer satisfaction is another one. And it'd be nice to say we have low employee turnover. So we can see sort of some of the outcomes of a high performance work system here, right? If you look at this flow chart, it kind of makes sense, right? If you have interesting jobs, you're more likely going to have satisfied workers, which is going to mean lower absenteeism. They're going to be out of work less, which means, of course, lower costs. With satisfied workers comes satisfied customers, right? And then you can think about low turnover and then high quality, satisfied customers, which could lead to higher sales, which of course leads to higher profits. Um, and then if you think about this knowledge sharing again through some of these training schemes that these firms may want to employ. Knowledge sharing can lead to innovation, which leads to high quality again, and that feeds back into satisfied customers, and so on and so forth. So the characteristics of high performance. Well, number one is that teams perform the work more so than individuals. Number two is that management and employees demonstrate commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives. Number three is employees participate in the selection process. Number four is employees receive ongoing formal performance feedback and are actively involved in the performance improvement process. Number five is ongoing training is emphasized and rewarded. And number six is employees' rewards and compensation relate to the company's financial performance. Some other ones we can look at here too. Equipment and work processes are structured and technology is used to encourage maximum flexibility and interaction among employees. Employees participate in planning changes in equipment, layout, and work methods. The work design allows employees to use a variety of skills, which should hopefully make the work more interesting. Employees understand how their jobs contribute to the finished product or service. And of course, ethical behavior, as always, is encouraged. So let's touch a little bit and let's focus a little more on teamwork and empowerment. So designing work so that it can be performed by teams empowers employees and certainly contributes and helps high performance. Managers coordinate roles and provide resources. So it's important for companies to capture and share the knowledge of workers who have had years to learn their specialty. And again, that's where things like apprenticeship programs, mentorship programs can really help out and come into their own. So with respect to knowledge sharing, a learning organization supports lifelong learning by enabling employees to acquire and share knowledge. We're going to engage in continuous learning. So the idea of continuous learning is exactly what it sounds like. We're never done learning. There's always more we can learn. And of course, as jobs change, as the marketplace changes, it's likely that there will be more that we need to go ahead and learn. Knowledge is shared among employees. Critical, systematic thinking is widespread and has a culture in which learning is rewarded and managers encourage flexibility and experimentation. And of course, employees are valued. So with respect to job satisfaction and employee engagements, employee engagement is the degree to which employees are fully involved in work and the strength of commitment to the company. So the more engaged they are, higher morale, typically higher productivity, and that may well translate into higher profitability for the company at large. And of course, employees' job satisfaction and job performance are obviously related. With respect to brand alignment, we're helping ensure that HR policies, practices, and programs support or are congruent with the brand. Now, we want passionate workers, right? I mean, every company wants passionate workers, but not every company does a good job incentivizing that or making that a reality. So, passionate workers are fully engaged. The company becomes part of their sense of who they are. So, there's sort of the term they use is occupational intimacy, right? To them, it's not just a job, like it's really part of who they are, of their being. Now, of course, as it makes sense, right? Human resources has a significant role in creating these conditions. And what about ethics? So ethical systems could include a written code of ethics. Most companies will have those. You will likely be or may be required to sign when you join. There's always the reinforcement of ethical behavior, performance measures, including ethical standards. So that could be part of like the performance evaluation and that feedback loop. Channels for employees to seek help and training in ethical decision making. One other thing I'll add here too is the tone at the top, which is so important. If the people at the top are not seen to be acting ethically, then that tends to sort of permeate down an organization. So what about HRM, human resource management practices? So the first one we'll talk about is job design. And this enables the organization to benefit from teamwork and employee empowerment. Recruitment and selection. Obtaining employees who are enthusiastic about and able to contribute to teamwork, empowerment, and knowledge sharing. Training, of course, is teaching the specific skills needed to perform the job. So performance management could be kind of distilled down to these three things. One, define and measure performance in precise terms. Number two, link performance measures to meeting customer needs. And then three, measure and correct for the effect of situational constraints. For example, some firms are smaller, they don't have the budget to maybe train people to the extent that they would like bigger firms may. Now, what about HRM technology? So new technology requires automation and, of course, collaboration. So things like transaction processing, where computations and calculations are used to review current HRM decisions and practices. Companies may also use what we call decision support systems, which are designed to help managers solve problems with a what if feature. What if sales go up or sales go down or costs go up? How does that impact us? And then what we term expert systems, which incorporate decision rules of people deemed to have expertise in a certain area. And then also relational databases. So relational databases store data in separate files and they're kind of linked by common elements. If you've taken a database class, they probably talked about like primary keys versus secondary keys, so on and so forth. And it can track employee benefits costs, can track training courses, compensation. You can really track whatever you like. And like I said, it kind of links them together in a really cool way. Now, HR dashboard will display HR-related indicators showing goals and objectives, maybe showing where an employee is to meeting those goals and objectives, and it can show progress toward meeting organizational goals. With also perhaps some predictive analytics built in. If you keep this up, this is where you will this level of performance up. This is likely where you will end up. And then what we call EHRM. So think about like basically human resources management, right? Human resources management online. So this can improve HRM effectiveness. It certainly helps maintain privacy because it's on an intranet, not an like the internet, right? An intranet is like the company's own private internet, if you will. It can include social media applications, not always, but it may. Employees can get information when they need it instead of contacting a HR staff person, right? So let's say it's Saturday, you're trying to buy a car, and the dealership says, "Oh, we need, the last three pay stubs." Well, no one's going to be in HR on the Saturday, most likely. You can jump online, you can print them off, boom, you have what you need. And of course, cloud computing, which enables access to information delivered on demand from any device 24/7. And of course, this was especially useful during the COVID-19 pandemic when everybody was pretty much confined to home. And then what we term HRM audits. So this is a formal review of outcomes of HRM functions. And it's based on identifying key HRM functions and key measures of business performance and customer satisfaction. So things like staffing, compensation, benefits, training, appraisal, and development, the overall effectiveness. These are all candidates. These are all examples, candidates of things that could be audited. And ultimately, we're also auditing for compliance with equal opportunity laws, succession planning, maintaining a safe workplace, and of course, positive labor relations. So, how often those audits are done could vary. Some companies may do them quarterly, some companies may very rarely do them. Some of that will probably determine or be determined by the size of the firm. If it's a bigger firm, they've maybe got more people that they can do stuff like this. Other firms, not so much the case. So yeah, just know that these are things that are going on. But if as a regular employee, you're probably not privy to, these audits. You probably don't know they're even being done. But rest assured, they are being done behind the scenes. All right, as always, thank you for watching, and I will see you in a future video. Take good care.